Let's go.
Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. Just acknowledge it, knowledge with no scholarships. It's Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. Breaking everything down, tech to politics. It's Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. We don't tell you what you want, we just give you what you need. It's Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. News, blues, and views from these Chi-Town streets. Topic Thunder.
You heard the man, ladies and gentlemen. It's Topic Thunder. Welcome into what we fashionably describe as the Internet Saloon. My name is Brooks. That is Ben, and we kind of think of ourselves as I always struggle on this one because we've never come to a
infotenders. I think I like
Infotenders?
infotenders. So like bartenders, but we're just dishing out information.
Or
you're looking for something down there. Ryan Hansen, you're down there. Here, slide it down the fucking bar. Here's some information for you.
Today,
Jordan, you're over there. Here's some information for you.
And belly up, ladies and gentlemen. You heard the man, and when we talk about the man, he's already in the chat zone, the world's most dangerous chat zone. We call it the Thunderdome, ladies and gentlemen. It's the lifeblood, the heartbeat of the show. But that's my friend Biz, he of the Shiesty. And we're also repping our friends over at Super Wrestlers this evening. And big show, Ben. Big show coming up March 10th.
Yeah, and I saw a new video was just released today from the folks over at Super Wrestlers.
So two asks before we get to some really we had an interesting day here at the, at the apartment.
This is Brooks has been waiting a long time for this show to come together and some pieces to fall into place so he could just say, I tried telling you, motherfuckers. I tried.
I don't want.
You're not gonna say that. That's why I'm saying it for you because you're too modest for that. But I'm gonna say today, a lot of things that the breadcrumbs that Brooks has been leaving us for literally years at this point,
that you may have been rolling your eyes about.
Exactly.
I'll say that. That's the only thing I'll say.
Also, that there's going to be some things. There's some news that broke over the last week that's going to vindicate my bearded friend up here at the top of the screen.
So, let's do that. Let's talk about our particular
real quick.
game.
I do want to also point out because he messaged me. You see, Ryan Hansen is there. He's joining us on YouTube. He is under a Facebook ban, so he can't join us on Facebook. YouTube is real particular about the comments, and he kind of gets a little kind of blue and crazy in the comments sometimes. So he may not be as active. He wanted me to warn. He wanted to warn us, and I'll warn everyone. I know he's usually an active member, but try to keep it clean, keep it the best you can. Ryan, do the best you can to try to join the party.
Honestly,
apparently, I tried to tell him Twitch, and he tells me that there's a big delay on Twitch.
We should probably just funnel everybody to YouTube, and just if that's going to be the thing with like Facebook and Twitch is acting weird, and we love our Twitch friends.
I don't know. There's a lot of people that are on Twitch. So I mean, most of our people are on Twitch. So I would imagine there haven't been many complaints other than Ryan. I haven't heard anybody else complain about Twitch. So. Well, I guess you guys can tell us right there in the comments.
So before we get to my super exciting day here at the apartment, I want to do a couple of things. If you're a fan of the show, whatever medium you're checking us out on, please just hit the like button. Just click it. It actually drives more views and you see it more in random feeds. You know what I'm talking about. The weird shit that pops up into your timeline. You're like, what? Right. That's all driven by views and likes. So smash that like button for us. Do us a favor. Go over to the Super Wrestlers Facebook page. Smash those like buttons. You can also find them on YouTube. Smash those like buttons. And look up Get Shiesty. Look up my friend Biz's company. It's a phenomenal clothesline. Everything is top quality. And just handsome stuff. So with that, I'm going to talk to you guys about our day here today because I need a drink. I've already had one, but we're going to have another. And this one, I had to take a walk today for reasons I'll get to in a little bit. And the liquor store I just kind of walked into, it's a very nice little place. Just walk down the aisle, the beer aisle. Just it's a fabulous beer aisle, especially the warm, non-refrigerated beers. and found myself an old favorite that I'm sure we've done on the show before.
I don't recognize it.
I know I've done other beers from our good friends at Maplewood Brewery. I know we have. I don't. If we haven't, I've been remiss, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, so I saw it and I was like, that fits the theme of the show. And ladies and gentlemen, the name of the beer is Charlatan, and it is an American pale ale. Some cool hops in there, but here's their taste profile. An American pale ale, generously hopped with Citra, Centennial, and Simcoe hops for fresh citrus flavors with mild, earthly, piney notes. There's also Warrior hops in there. And how do you leave Warrior hops out of the description?
Yeah.
Talk to me, people.
What the hell is that?
I have thoughts. Anyway, it's a 16 ouncer. It's a tall boy, and it's at a 6.1 alcohol by volume. So maybe another.
So it's got a grapefruit citrus taste. I'm not wild about grapefruit, I'll be honest. So
it's just I like that flavor profile apparently in my beers. I like not like super sour like a saison, but a pale ale. Hell yeah, brother.
I'm drinking black cherry flavored water.
Just at the first aroma, because the sense of smell has a lot to do with the sense of taste. I knew I was going to like it. I just smelled it. As it was entering my mouth hole. And all the little sensors that we call taste buds that are on my tongue tell me that this is a delicious, delightful beer. It's fantastic.
We always do this when we try something new on the air. We got to have a Brooks bolts. We have yet to find a 5. Nothing has gotten a 5, I don't believe.
I think there was a
5. Wait, didn't we recently have a 5? There was something that blew your fucking mind when you had it and you gave it a 5. But
we'd have to go
you're
back
very
to
strict. You do not hand out 5s.
No, you can't.
Willy-nilly.
That's like saying like something is excellent. I know everybody wants to use the word excellent, but think about what excellence is.
It's got to be a higher standard. Yeah,
it's whatever. Yes, it's the unexpected convenience of things. It is a different level of service. It's a different level of quality of product. Excellence gets thrown around a lot. This is a solid 4. This is a really good beer, and I wouldn't be ashamed to serve this at my dinner table to those that enjoy the types of beers as Amy Cleaver likes to do.
So we were in danger at one point today of not having a show, which number at this point? 145.
This is actually 146.
I was close. I was so close. Wow,
so close.
Yeah. So episode 146 almost didn't happen tonight. We suspect maybe Vladimir Putin is hacking your building, maybe.
So one of the leading children's hospitals in the United States has been recently, admittedly, hacked, cyber attacked, and we've covered it on the show. We have inside sources, and just today, we in our luxury apartment building, right, that we pay too much money for.
Right.
For the convenience of a 30-minute for both of us round trip overall commute to and from work. Suck on that. My commute is 15 minutes, both ways total.
It's solid. Love that.
It takes me 7 minutes.
As someone that travels 12 minutes to work, I can appreciate how nice that is. And who once traveled an hour and a half one way, 2 hours.
I remember that. That's actually why you got into the Grateful Dead, right?
Yes, indeed. One of the reasons. Yeah.
One of the right. Hello, friends.
Yeah.
So we've talked about it, how blessed we are, and we got this place on the cheap because of COVID and all that kind of fun stuff. Turns out the people running the place aren't so great, and we're in apartment hunt 2024. Like it's happening, right? Oh, we are in the midst of it,
along
right?
with the election. We are also in apartment hunt 2024. It's a big year.
There'll be two big decisions this year. And we like the place, and we would if things were just handled better,
if the landlord gave a little bit more of a shit,
we would love to stay. We wanted to be talked out of staying. Well, today kind of absolutely
pushed you right over.
Pushed like rocketed us. Like they slapped a jetpack on us and said, "There you go, get the fuck out." Because Ben, I'm gonna take control of the screen here, if you don't mind,
please.
Because I took some video, but to set this up, every morning,
I don't know if it's people running the place so much as pandas dressed in clown suits.
That's an insult. The pandas and clown suits.
Oh shit!
So to set this up, I wake up every morning at 5 a.m. and I take the pup out, take our dear Fiona out for a little wee. Right, she makes some water. 5:15 in the morning. It's fun. It's great being in the streets of Chicago at 5:15 in the morning. Again, most of the time, it's fine. But some other times, I should be recording, but I'm too grumpy because I'm awake at 5:15.
That's the beauty of living in Chicago. I miss that, man.
Yeah,
there's always something going on. No matter what time you're on the streets, there's some sort of weirdness or craziness or awkwardness going on. I love
there's a local strip club that has a I don't know, it's like a big Suburban, it's like an extended SUV that has their name decaled on all, like the back window and everything. And sometimes it just sits in front of our building, and sometimes you see the people that come in and out of there and you're like, all right, I that's advertisement. I would like to visit your establishment. Anyway, a little bit derailed. 5:15 in the morning, I'm taking the dog out to do her business. And we have kind of like a front door with a little vestibule, and then another door that's like a security door that you have to key fob into.
Right.
So get in through the front door. Everything's great. I'm already thinking about my day at work, what I have to do, all that kind of fun stuff, right?
Sure.
Go to key fob in, pull the door. Oh, didn't work. Okay, it's happened before. I didn't swipe properly, right? So wave it. Nothing. Hold it to it. I'm paying attention, right? I don't hear the click. I start looking at the unit. There's no light on. It's not received. Nothing, right? Dead electricals.
Oh,
fast forward.
I hate that shit.
Fast forward to a little video that I hope explains everything. I'm gonna again.
I hate, like, if you throw off my morning routine at all, I get very flustered very quickly, and that immediately trends toward anger. And I'm sure Adrienne is watching this. If she is, she's going to chime in and say, yes, absolutely. Like, I can't don't fuck with my mornings, especially if I haven't had my fucking full cup of coffee yet.
Preach to the choir. We're lucky nobody died. Because what ended up happening, I couldn't get into the apartment, right? Our little area, you have to key fob into to get into our elevator space, right? And then you have to key to the elevator to get up to your floor, right? Trust me, I'm right there with him too, because don't fuck with my morning routine. Like I wake up at a specific time to do specific things.
Exactly. I've got that shit timed down to a fucking science. Yes.
To properly align myself to deal with humanity.
Yes.
All right. It's important. Everybody loves Brooks. Everybody loves Ben. This is why you love us, because we engineer our time and give ourselves this type of space to be the people that you love anyway. And fucking with that can really fuck with the algorithm, right?
Right.
So here we are. The security person comes out and he's like, "Oh yeah, we can't get in." All right, so I have to go around the building, and again, you just can't get into our little elevator area without key fobbing in.
Right.
So here comes a bunch of angry tenants who,
Mhm.
one, because I had my telephone with me. I've learned because I got stuck in an elevator. Go back and listen to episode from early October. I got
Mhm.
stuck in an elevator here, and I didn't have my cell phone. Which, by the pro
Panic.
tip, just always bring your cell phone no matter where you go. If you're even just stepping outside to get the mail,
Because you never know.
you never fucking know when it's going to be important to even just to take a picture of proof of life.
Yeah.
Anyway, had my cell phone on me, and I was getting barked at because this person wanted me to call 311, 911, wanted me to call ComEd because there were no lights on. None of the key fobs worked. The elevators we didn't know because we couldn't get to, and the doors to the area where the stairs are to go up the emergency stairs,
Mm-hmm.
the poor maintenance dudes who are, it's 5 a.m. They're working a midnight shift. They're looking at like 7,
Right.
like get here 7 a.m., get here
Yes.
7
Yeah,
a.m., right? Get
yes.
me the fuck out of here.
Almost done. Yeah.
They don't have the keys to get into these spaces.
Oh.
And there are frustrations building, mine included. I've got my dog who's freaked out right now because
Of
she's
course,
routine,
right.
right? She's like, wait, we do this, we go upstairs and you feed me. What's the fucking problem here,
right.
Michael? Right? I'm like, I've got a day of work plan. What the fuck? I'm sitting here on the floor of the lobby just waiting literally for something to happen, for somebody to tell me like something's happening, because the next person that I see on the glass doors on the other side is my little elevator area. If somebody comes down, I want to be like, hey, wait.
Yeah.
Let's prop a door open here. Let's try to mitigate this. Are the elevators still working? Can I get back upstairs to my home?
Right.
Right. And one of the people also that, again, the level of anger of the tenants, not me. I was just slowly seething. I was coping and seething, as the kids say these days.
Right.
I was relatively calm, but this lady was like, do you have anybody that lives with you? Can you call him? I was like, I'm not calling my girlfriend at 5:30 in the morning and telling her to come down here if I'm not sure we can all get back upstairs. So
Yeah.
what sense is that? So I was dealing with pure nonsense this morning, right? So
Dealing with other people while you're going through this is that's even makes it even worse. Like, I shut up, lady. I don't want to talk to you. Shut up.
I just, and eventually she walked away. Luckily, another gentleman who had access to one of the lower level parkings, the special like big money parking lot, was like,
Mhm.
you want to try this? And we ended up kind of going underground, coming back up and going up. Shortly after that, no more elevators, period. So we had to take Fiona for a walk, right? I was able to work from home today, and thankfully able to do so, because my morning would have been, I would have been a raging terror at work, right? Stay away from Michael kind of day.
Right. Yes.
We had to take Fiona for a walk, and this was the trip back in to the apartment.
Okay.
As I'm going to grab. Oh no! Why can't I? Why? Oh wait, hold on. Why can't I share the?
Yeah, it's not showing me that you have taken control.
Aha! Here we go.
There you go.
Check
Broox
it
shared
out.
the screen. Show on stream. Bango. Oh, that's creepy.
Camera did a lot of work for the lighting.
Mm-hmm. Nope. Oh! So that's not electric. I assumed that was like an electric deal. Just like a ghost town almost.
They're talking about water on the floor there. I'm a total prick, by the way, if you get in my way.
I'm filming here. Get out of my way. And the landlord is nowhere to be found, surely.
Well, we passed 2 of the executives.
That's wow. God. Yeah, this is. I would be so mad. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This does. It does feel like watching the Blair Witch Project. It's. I agree.
So there's that, and of course, like that's just me being raw and that. But there's also Gigi put together a little video. I don't know how I'm going to be able to do this with the way the screen is here. Why can't I blow this up? Gigi's did even better because that those elevators, yeah, not fun. Yeah, you can't watch like full screen. Apparently, you can't watch full screen Instagram videos on a streaming thing.
Ooh.
So let me see what I can do here. I'm gonna do
Flawless
this.
Man Project.
Right. One elevator stays wide open, the other one opens and closes by itself.
Nightmare fuel.
It is not fun. And
At
if and just to let everybody know, every power was restored, obviously, right?
Right. Here we are.
Water was restored.
Almost.
As an update, we don't have hot water. And I mean not even like
The shit show continues.
lukewarm water.
Like
I
ice
mean
water.
like jumping in and out,
no.
like yeah. And so
No,
props
no,
to
no,
the
no,
pretty
no.
lady for getting her hair washed and all that kind of fun
I
stuff.
would get. We would be getting a hotel room. That's.
I mean, again, to circle back with this signed death warrant on this place, there
Yes.
on this side of the building, there are 30 tenants, 30 buildings or apartments right now, and there are 15 tenants. I will guarantee you, after this, there will be
a lot less.
Come May, there'll be at least one less. Which brings us
Panda clowns.
absolutely Panda Clowns. That was the name of my friend's timpani band. They played the timpani in the basement. It was great. I'll never forget the Panda Clowns. Kind of like we're never going to forget Alexei Navalny and the show. I'm just gonna throw it out there right now, folks. I'm not here to say I told you so. I guess I just did, but I'm not here to do. That's not what the point of the show is. It is super Russia heavy for very good reasons, because a lot of stuff has kind of come almost full circle and into broad daylight, easily digestible, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all kind of coming out.
Alexei Navalny is not a name you are unfamiliar with if you have been watching this show for the last 146 episodes.
He of the twice poisoned and attempted assassinated, recently died.
Last we heard from him was just a couple of weeks ago when they didn't know where he was.
And he was moved to some sort of weird Arctic prison. They called it Wolf Prison.
Polar
or some
Wolf.
shit.
Yeah,
Polar Wolf. Thank
Wolf
you.
Penal Colony.
That's not good.
No.
Because like Polar Wolf in English sounds kind of like, oh, cool. It could be a cute little wolf. And in Russian, it sounds something completely
Yes.
different.
Yeah. Russians don't call something Polar Wolf because it's nice.
It's lost in translation on that one,
Mhm.
right? Let's just admit that. We got word early Saturday morning Central Standard Time that Alexei Navalny had passed away, right? And as Biz is already on to, we should be not surprised by this, that the initial cause of death was listed as a blood clot, which is really hard to detect shortly after the announced death, because you need an autopsy to see that kind of thing. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So then within 12 hours of the initial blood clot story comes the sudden death syndrome, which honestly only exists in Russia.
Yeah.
Or
he was literally
Russia
walking
adjacent.
down a hallway, from what I understand, and just collapsed. is what the story is.
We can no longer trust. Well, no longer. What the fuck am I talking about? We can't trust what is coming out of that
True
situation, right?
Yeah.
We know that he's dead. We know that the initial announced cause of death was changed, which is already a red flag, right? Because then what the fuck is sudden death syndrome?
Yeah,
right?
And that's what Putin does, man. He does this thing where he puts out these stories that are and these reasons that are so preposterous that you know they can't be true, and he almost says it with a knowing, like, yeah, I know you know this is bullshit, and I don't care. This is the narrative I'm putting out there, and I don't care that you know that I know that it's bullshit, and that you know that it's bullshit.
The important part for on the Putin side of that equation is that you know that I did this, right?
Yep.
It's mafia mentality.
Sure.
At the state nuclear powered and weaponized state level, which we can have conversation about that too, because they'll use nukes. Fuck that. We got nukes too. You want to use one? We're all gonna die. So do you really want that? Different conversation, different show.
But yeah, Alexei Navalny, this day was coming. It was just a matter of when, not if.
So he's dead, and there's some confusion as to how he died. There's also a lot of mystery as to where the body was, or has been, to be honest with you, because they're not releasing it as in accordance to Russian law, to be honest with you. They're not releasing the body or the remains as they should, so the family can conduct proper burial rites and maybe in this instance have their own kind of autopsy research, something, anything.
Yeah.
So
this doesn't smell good.
Very prescient of this man, who is admittedly complicated, because Alexei Navalny is no angel. He is a Moscovite, which means he believes in the authority and presence of old school Russia at his core. Is he modern? Is he? Yes, absolutely. But he's also associated with some questionable people. Again, as our good friend Giovanni, old fat guy BMX, which actually I gotta buy some swag so I can have that on the show. That duly noted. I'm writing that down. Buy that swag. It is but
he is a complicated person in the same way, and I made this comparison maybe faulty, but Che Guevara is a complicated person as well, right? Like, yes, he led a revolution, and yes, he stood for some very powerful things, but he also was a very horrible human being on a lot of fronts too. So he's no one's perfect, right? And neither is Alexei Navalny.
And we're not looking for perfect. We were just looking for
as best as you can
in that situation. And I'm no expert on Kremlin politics, but there are internal Kremlin politics that literally decide who lives and dies in certain situations, and it doesn't necessarily come across the president's desk in that regard, right? And for a lot of reasons, Vladimir Putin would wanted to have killed Alexei Navalny. He tried twice. He tried poisoning him twice. The second time, famously, he flew to Germany to get well and came back.
That's the ballsy move by Navalny, coming back to Russia, knowing full well, understanding full well that the result of what happened was going to be the result of him going back to Russia. He was going to end up dead in prison. There was no question. And to say, you know what, it's worth it. What I believe in is worth it. And I'll become a martyr in a way, a symbol for the movement against Vladimir Putin and this oligarchy regime that he has going on there.
Ben, this is Batman. I wanted to step in real quick and just remind everybody that you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And it's truly a case of this. And this man was pressing enough to leave this message to his compatriots, his fellow country persons in a 2022 interview on Netflix.
Здесь у меня просто очевидная вещь. Не сдавайтесь. Не надо, нельзя сдаваться. Если это произошло, это означает, что мы необыкновенно сильны в этот момент, раз они решили меня убить. Ну и нужно использовать эту силу. Не сдаваться. Помните о том, что мы огромная сила, которая находится под гнетом вот этих вот чуваков плохих, лишь потому что мы не можем осознать, насколько действительно мы сильны. Все, что нужно для торжества зла, это бездействие добрых людей. Поэтому бездействовать не надо. Здесь у меня...
So we had this conversation, Gigi and I, on the couch after his death was announced, and we were wondering, like, why now and why risk killing him? And there were some rumors at that point if he was still alive or not, because you're martyring somebody at that point that really meant something to a lot of people, and you're taking a risk, a calculated one, I guess. Because you have that type of control, you had that type of grip on media and society and politics and business that you could shape the story. That didn't stop a whole lot, dozens, if not hundreds of Russian citizens coming out to several squares. I can't. I've got to unlock the article and set up my account for the Daily, which is new to me. I didn't know Daily Beast did that. A lot of people started coming out to old Soviet monuments and placing flowers and saying prayers and starting vigils to acknowledge the death, the murder. Let's be honest and clear, of Navalny, right? And they were met with Russian secret police, SWAT teams, and
literally pulling these
police.
people. There's some crazy videos of like people like being dragged through the snow, through banks of snow after they were thrown face first into the bank of snow,
like head first into the snow, like rubbed into, like
yes,
for just placing flowers and then attending these vigils, right?
Yeah. If you attended one of these public vigils, you are very likely to be arrested in Russia.
Not only arrested, Ben, you've been now hit with a military summons, and
That
guess
sounds
where
fun.
you're going?
Siberia.
The front lines of Ukraine. And you're getting some really
so they're telling you, okay, oh wow, okay, I didn't really fully understand what a military summons was. No, they're saying,
military
okay,
summons. You are
congratulations, you get here's a gun, go to the front lines, fucker.
Here's a pretend gun because we don't have proper ammunition. We just need you to catch bullets while we shell and use artillery to flatten cities and Ukrainian positions.
Wow.
It's a death sentence.
Jesus.
It's a death sentence. Or again, you don't have to go too far. You can Google it yourself. We've talked about it. Having a commander pull a gun at your head, telling you to rape a civilian. That is the MO of a lot of military operations, apparently, these days.
It's so crazy because you hear about this stuff, and then we just watched last week Tucker Carlson, right? He interviewed Vladimir Putin. I happened to catch again Jon Stewart on Monday.
I wanted to talk. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
I wanted to put that in, but it's 8 minutes. So
I know it's just a lot, but he brilliantly takes down Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson goes to the grocery store. He goes to the Subway, right? And he's remarking about how clean and how pristine and how majestic the Subway was in Russia, right? And it's like, okay, yeah, but what price does that come with? And then Tucker goes to the grocery store, and the same groceries that he would get for $400 in America is only $104 in Russia. And he's looking at the camera as if, and saying this to you as if there is no military summons for you if you decide that you want to talk back about the regime. If you want to have a voice at all, you might get tossed onto the front lines. He's just talking like, we could have it this good, right? He was talking as if like, why don't we have it this good? Well, because we don't live in a fucking dictatorship.
Well, fuck you, Tucker Carlson, because Aldi everywhere has that same cart thing.
Yeah.
You put a quarter in, you get the cart.
Yes. Aldi fucking has it. As long as I've lived, Aldi has had that fucking quarter gimmick.
Right.
Yeah.
And of course, let's just gloss over the fact that this entire production, including that subway trip, was a production by Russian intelligence and military intelligence. Well, let's just be honest. What this was, it was propaganda. We know that. We covered that already, right? The best part is the way Putin completely dissed.
But
Tucker
don't
Carlson.
act like this isn't part of what comes with the $100 worth of groceries. Yes, your groceries are cheaper, but you will also probably die if you say the wrong thing about the wrong person in the wrong place in front of the wrong people.
There's actually a law that Putin signed in Russia that they can confiscate your property and territory if you own things like that. If you are caught speaking ill about the Russian state or in support of anything Ukraine. So just to let you know where we are with this. Looping back, it doesn't end there. We're going to string this all together, folks, because this is not a recent thing. This is and has been.
Can I get Cocoa Krispies? Fucking doubt it.
Right? No, but the CEO of Kellogg was happy today or yesterday to go on NBC and be like, more Americans are eating cereal for dinner than ever. It's great.
Yeah, not the flex that you want it to be.
Yeah. Like, what? Eating cereal? Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Kellogg. Thanks for being part of the problem, but putting that CEO spin on it, you fucks. That's what we're talking. Oh, sorry, my language. Speaking of fucks, nobody knows the name Alexander Smirnov, right? Nobody knows that name unless you know.
Oh, wait, it's tied to these two gentlemen.
We all know about Hunter Biden. We all know the mysterious, alleged human intelligence source that provided the intel about Hunter Biden's alleged dealings and misgivings
with a Ukrainian company,
a Ukrainian energy company named Burisma. That's close to another name we're going to tie into this whole thing again later. Apparently, this gentleman allegedly, well, not allegedly, he's been officially charged by the FBI. Yeah. Alexander Smirnov is a Russian intelligence asset.
Surprise, surprise.
Every bit of any bit of closed door testimony, and we've covered why they do that in Republican controlled moments, which is why Hunter Biden wanted to testify in open public, because they control the narrative and they come out on their loudspeakers of Newsmax or Fox News and they say, well, these people said this and these people appear to be blah, blah, blah. And the official transcript, which nobody fucking bothers to read, doesn't corroborate what they say.
Yep.
So here we are, the human intelligence source that the Republican controlled. I know, political, right?
There was a whole impeachment investigation, taxpayer dollars by the millions were spent on this impeachment that Republicans were absolutely sure, and all of their followers bought hook, line, and sinker. How many people do we know? My buddy Texas Ted, he believed this fucking story. He repeated it repeatedly. And now, in the face of this, I love the guy, but his immediate reaction is, well, that's the government pressuring him into saying that he's a Russian asset. It's like, Nah, come on, man.
This-
Come on, man.
This has been what the truth in front of you the whole time. The problem with it is, right? And I love Texas Ted. He's a good dude, right? He's a good dude. The problem is, as we've talked about a lot on the show, is that we do not understand the long game being played here.
Yes.
These people have not been here just in the last 4, 6, 8 years. This plan has been going on literally since the 50s. The Russians have been very clear about that. In spite of the demise of the USSR and the rise of what we now call the Russian Federation, the goal has been always the downfall of the Western world from the inside.
Right.
We've talked
so that
about
we're so focused on our own issues and turmoil that we're not able to focus on his plans of just taking land from people.
And a lot of it is online culture too. It's very easy to set up. We've talked about 2 different Facebook groups that have 2 different points.
War. It's a culture war.
And it's easily fostered and has been the Russian MO since the days of the courts of kings and queens, where emissaries would be arriving and whispering things into influential people who would then influence kings and queens to invade. This has been going on forever.
This is how human beings deal with power.
We've got the military might, right? We don't have the savvy, the killer instinct in a lot of ways. Killer instinct,
that's a good way to put it. We don't have that ruthlessness.
And we don't have the patience, Ben.
That's another thing, because we are an instant gratification society. We are a reactionary society.
And so you can cause a problem if you know what how it's going to react.
Think about this. As I'm thinking this through, Brooks, we are the perfect. If you want to fuck with a country mentally, we are the perfect people to do that, because we are staunchly individualistic, right? We have a distrust of government and of authority, inbred in us over generations of our families, right?
Right.
And we are also very quick to believe confirmation. We have this confirmation bias thing, that this blind spot where if it confirms something that we believe it, and we don't want to hear anything outside of that, and we're just going to focus on that thing that we believe.
We lack accountability.
Yeah,
on that regard too, and that, if people dig into what they believe, and any evidence to the contrary is summarily just ignored.
Right, we're very easily manipulated to go against one another.
So here we are with one of the hot topic, burning issues of the upcoming election, Hunter Biden. We're not done hearing about it, because even though their main source of information is clearly a Russian intelligence asset.
By the way, Mr. Smirnov, he's a what now?
Oh, did you see that?
Did you see
that, Ben? A dual U.S. Israeli citizen
who's a Russian asset.
Who's a Russian intelligence asset. That doesn't play into anything going on, does it?
No, and there's no connection. Now, Brooks, there's no connection between the Russian government and information that was given to them about military secrets, and then that same person was then meeting with the opposition just weeks or months before an attack on that same country. That didn't happen, right? No, it did. I remember it was on this show.
The only thing I could tell you is that there are a couple of handsome men who've been kind of barking at the moon regarding some of these topics for now 146 episodes.
Yes.
But I don't digress.
Mm-hmm.
So this entire situation in Ukraine is leading to a lot of good people who are legitimately being slaughtered and overwhelmed due to a lack of ammunition, parts to repair equipment, and the sheer support to get the job done, which politicians say we're in it to get Ukraine to get the job done. Well, what does that fucking mean? Well, right now, thanks to the disappearance of the United States House of Representatives for 2 weeks, thanks for the vacation, there's nothing going on in the fucking world right now that that you could have paused your fucking vacations for.
No. And why would that be?
Because Mike Johnson is on the take from Russian money.
No shit.
Are you surprised?
Not
This goes
even a
back
little
to 2018, Ben.
Does it surprise you that this guy right here is taking money from Russia and doing the bidding of Russia? Is there anything about the look on this guy's face that tells you that he's not fucking evil and deceitful?
He's Moses.
And completely insane. He's also completely insane.
The dude legitimately said, I spoke to Jesus and he told me I'm the next Moses.
They're compromised. It's not surprising to know that that a politician is compromised. It's a little bit shocking that the Speaker of the House is so obviously compromised.
He's like he's the least bad orange. When you go to the grocery store and there's been a run on oranges, he's like, well, this one looks okay.
Yeah, that's
I cut it up right away, right? We covered that story too.
I'm going to use it today.
Right. Well, holy shit. Absolutely. Mike Johnson is a very troubled person. Mike Johnson in 2018 was accepting money from Russians who were funneling the money through a Texas-based American ethane company. It was 88% 88% owned by 3 Russian nationals. The first name is the one we're going to focus on, Konstantin Nikolaev.
Konstantin Nikolaev.
I can go with that too. That dude was the KGB, FSB handler, money person for Maria Butina.
Oh, her. The NRA lady.
If you're not familiar with who we literally can call the Black
They
Widow,
might as well have been Moscow McRussian.
This Nikolai is absolutely, what do we call him?
Nikolai, his last name?
Konstantin.
We'll just call him Konstantin. Yeah,
is a Russian intelligence asset who managed a Black Widow, who, if you look her up, and we have extensively covered her and her tracks on this show, very much so involved in just about any face-first person in the Republican Party over the last 10 years, including the head of the NRA, which is basically the biggest money laundering unit for Russian money to influence our politics that ever existed.
Yes, sir.
Look at Wayne LaPerriere and where he is right now. So Mike Johnson was a seed planted almost 6-7 years ago. And here we are now with Mike Johnson absolutely stalwart blocking legislation to not only fund
it makes
Ukraine,
so much sense why he has made such a big deal about Ukraine and money not being and trying to divert the attention to the border and not wanting the aid money to be tied to the border and wanting those two issues to be separate. And it makes so much more sense with
not only
this
that,
context.
Not only that, but getting those two bills separated and being offered an absolute capitulation by the Democratic Party, giving the Republicans everything they wanted in a separate legislation bill considering border security. Billions of it. This was approved and supported by the Border Patrol Union. The people actually doing the work.
They're doing the job, yes.
And Mike Johnson said this will never hit the floor. He didn't even bring it to the floor.
Didn't even read it before he made that statement.
And didn't bring it to a vote, didn't bring it to the floor, as is his job as the Speaker of the House, to bring legislation to the floor and say, let's vote on it. And they get into their little caucuses and their conferences, and people vote and people argue and people get little side jobs and that's just how it works, right? But we're talking about human lives, and not only human lives, we're literally probably talking about the beginning stages of World War III, which we've talked about too, right? The situation in Ukraine is just the start, and it's conveniently timed. If I could put on my conspiracy hat, not the shiesty hat, my conspiracy hat, and say it is really interestingly timed at a point where Ukraine is literally saying we are running out of ammunition. They had to pull out of a city, Agvita, under duress, because they're running out of ammunition. They're running out of Patriot missiles to shoot down all the Iranian drones and South Korean ballistic missiles that Russia's lobbing at them at random. May I point out, it's conveniently timed because Russia can make their advance, starve out the Ukrainians, and then sit there and wait for November and eventually January of 2025, when their guy, Donald J. Trump, becomes president of the United States again, pulls out of NATO because people aren't paying their bills, and leaves Europe to dry. Poland will be next, if not Moldova. Lithuania, you might be next too. Sorry, Prince of Lithuania.
Right.
That's what's at stake here. That's the situation we're looking at. It's convenient because the Russian forces can restock and reload and get, again, supplies from Iran.
Right, because the Legion of Doom is backing them, yeah.
Absolutely. And they could wait out those 9 months.
Right.
And then be at full force to push in. And let's be very clear about this. The Russians aren't exactly sending their best into Ukraine anymore.
Right.
Because they know U.S. and Western support has been delayed. We are way late.
It's all right, though. We're good.
But here we are, Ben, talking about another situation where Russia didn't keep their business in-house and, in fact, went across borders to enact revenge.
This story is crazy. This is getting buried, I think, amongst all the other Russian stories that's come out this week. This one is buried, and it shouldn't be. This is nuts.
We actually may have talked about this, but there was a Russian helicopter pilot who defected to Ukraine in a secret operation. He literally landed a Russian helicopter in Ukraine, defected, and Ukrainians protected him and tried to set him up in a witness protection type program in Spain. There is no such thing when dealing with Russian intelligence in this regard, because they found him and, oh, look, he mysteriously died.
12 shots. That wasn't random. A burned out car was discovered nearby. Come on.
It is not unlike Vladimir Putin to assassinate.
They made it look like it was gang related.
Sure, absolutely. Well, we know what's going on. He's poisoned more than enough people outside Russian borders. Litvinenko, I forget the professor's name, where they put the Novichok on the door handles, the British people. I forgot. This is nothing new. This is the MO. This is him going, this is what I'm doing. Stop me. He's literally laughing at everybody. And while he's laughing at everybody, he's also telling Russians to fuck more.
Yes.
I literally mean that. On the heels of Valentine's Day, February 15th, from Reuters, Russian families must produce at least 2 children for the sake of the nation's ethnic survival, and 3 or more if it is to develop and thrive, President Vladimir Putin said on Thursday. We've actually mentioned that Russia has had a population problem, specifically the youth nowadays, especially. because a lot of people have left. Go figure.
Right.
So here he is preaching, you must have at least 2 to 3 children for your country to survive. That's not like a suggestion. It's not tax breaks to have children. It's him barking an order. If we want to survive as an ethnic group, well, or as an ethnic group of people inhabiting Russia, there must be at least 2 children. Or, looked at another way, I need more soldiers.
Yes, that's exactly what he's really saying.
I need more people to catch bullets, to do my colonizing and my conquest, to restore the Russian Republic, the USSR. Comrade. However, it's a weird, creepy thing because it's really poor in Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Like really poor outside the major cities. And let's be honest, there's like 2 major cities, Moscow and St. Petersburg. Everybody else is like really scraping by. And ordering them to have more children just basically means you're going to be issued into the Putin youth. Because that's the only way you're going to get educated and fed.
Right. Like that. There's no other option, right? Like you're bringing a child into that world knowing full well what the expectation is. Yeah.
And I think we're going to have to skip a couple things here, Ben.
Okay.
Just to be honest with you, a couple of things happen. Let's blow through it because we actually Tipped in Moscow sent this in. I'd be remiss if I.
Yeah, and we were talking. We pointed out there that
that
Putin is very much a traditional family values type of guy, and that's why like you're seeing a lot of conservatives and some conservative commentators starting like Tucker Carlson starting to try to, I don't know, humanize, if you will, Vladimir Putin in a way where it's like, hey, he kind of believes the same things we do. He's not such a bad guy. And we saw he believes in Orthodox Christian faith. And here we are. Politico puts out this report thanks to Tipped in Moscow, tip of the hat. Trump allies prepare to infuse Christian nationalism in the second administration. Again, we told you this shit was coming. And if he gets elected again, here we fucking are.
And let's be clear about some of the points that they're making here. They are against things like birth control pill.
Right.
They are now coming out. And even Nikki Haley, who we have an article about next, has said that like she agrees with their stance on what in vitro fertilization is, that they consider those eggs that are being saved babies, children. They consider embryos as children, right? Because we need more babies, Ben. We need more workers, Ben. We need more soldiers, Ben, right? For the coming war, right? The coming apocalypse. Because by God, we're doing everything we can to engineer it. As opposed to leaving everybody the fuck alone. Not telling people to have children. So maybe one's enough. Maybe you can just go live your lives. And
how about this? Look at this. I just highlighted this Vought guy has promoted a restrictionist immigration agenda, saying a person's background doesn't define who can enter the U.S., but rather citing biblical teachings, whether that a person accepted Israel's God, laws, and understanding of history. So that would be the immigrant. Like they're not saying you can't have immigrants, but we're only taking immigrants that say we believe in Christianity. If you don't believe in Christianity, you're not allowed to immigrate here. And we're just going to sit back and let that happen. That's what's going to happen here in less than a year.
Russell Vought did a fabulous job in my administration, and I have no doubt he'll do a great job in continuing our quest to make America great again. That's a Trump quote. So it's coming. If that dude gets elected again, yes, go for it.
Freedom is defined by God, not man. That's what these fucking wackos believe.
What
And
if I don't
we're
believe
about
in
to
your
have him
God?
running this country.
What if I don't believe in God? What if I
Right.
don't? What if I believe in Mother Earth? Right?
And he's not. The great part
That's
is
the
the best
First
part
Amendment.
is that this asshole right here on the screen is not religious. He does not give a shit. He's never been religious in his entire life before he started running for president of the United States.
Thus,
So
he held the Bible upside down. That
yeah,
should have been a tip right there.
the guy. That's even crazier. Is that these he's so clearly pandering to these fundamentalist Christians, and they're just lapping it up like, yep, okay.
That's the problem. Like, I don't think those people. I don't think we can get to those people. I don't think they care that this guy is that level of criminal. And let's be very clear: 91 felony counts is not just some paltry sum, and is not the deep state coming at you. It's actually something really interesting. Speaking of current Republican leading candidate for the presidency of the United States of America, Nikki Haley did something really fucking cool. And the story doesn't cover it exactly, but Nikki Haley the other night called for a press conference to make a major announcement.
Okay.
Everybody thought she was going to announce that she was going to bail.
Dropping it out.
She's dropping out. And even the Trump administration thought. In fact, the Trump administration basically tweeted out that she's going to kiss the ring, kiss ass, actually.
Well, that's not too far-fetched because she was part of Team Trump for a long time.
For a long time, but she's been very interesting. And Nikki Haley, I don't like her. I don't trust her, but can be a very interesting...
she's playing a very interesting game. I'll give her credit here.
So it turns out she got a ton of media attention at her little thing, but it wasn't an announcement that she was dropping out of the race. It was basically the other side of that. She said, many of the same politicians who now publicly embrace Trump privately dread him. They know what a disaster he's been and will continue to be for our party. They're just too afraid to say it out loud. Well, I'm not afraid to say the hard truths out loud. She quotes that she has no fear of Trump's retribution and her political future is of zero concern. Another quote, and this is the big one. He's gotten more unstable and unhinged. He spends more time in courtrooms than he does on the campaign trail. He refuses to debate. He's completely distracted, and everything is about him. He's so obsessed with his own demons from the past. He can't focus on delivering a future for the Americans that they deserve.
That is the most honest assessment of Donald Trump that you couldn't say it more concisely and on the nail than what Nikki Haley said right there.
She goes on to say, he's taking out his anger on others. He's getting meaner and more offensive by the day. He's trying to bully me and anyone who supports me. He says they'll be barred from MAGA permanently. And that's not the way you win elections, she said. She has zero chance to become the presumptive nominee of the Republican Party. Unless
for some reason Trump is convicted of something that would put him in jeopardy. But is there anything? Is the Georgia case? I mean, if he loses that, is he still able to be president of the United States?
Given appeals and given a state of the Supreme Court,
maybe, right?
Yeah, look where this reaches. Look how much Leo Leonard has engineered this whole thing, right? Too that religious right, that ultra conservative weirdo, right leaning folk that the Russians support. Anyway, we all know that Trump's in a lot of trouble. He owes like $400 million,
indeed,
in fines, right? Attorney General Letitia James announced that she's willing to seize his assets.
Good.
if he's unable to find the cash to cover the fine. That would include Trump Tower. That would include a couple of other of his properties in New York. Imagine that.
That'd be great. Because here's the thing with Donald Trump is that it is a big ego thing for him to have buildings with his name on it. Like, that's why, like, everything is Trump this, Trump that. Like, he is obsessed with his name being on buildings and on products and being seen as a brand. It is extremely important to him.
It's completely fucked up, the Chicago River Walk, because you walk by the building and his name is right there. You can't fucking miss it. It fucks everything up because nobody else's name is on any other building.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a problem. One of the problems is that our media doesn't necessarily, especially the alleged left-leaning media, doesn't speak in terms that really resonate with the average person. Oh, not this particular reporter. Let's hear this clip from the dreaded CNN.
Yeah, Brianna, what we've learned is that President Biden himself personally instructed some of his top campaign aides to be even more aggressive in highlighting some of President Trump's more inflammatory and wild comments. We are told that the thrust of the president's direction was to significantly ramp up the campaign's efforts to highlight the crazy shit that Trump says. You know, we
literally said that on live TV.
That's so awesome.
Confirmed.
Good for her. The crazy
was-
shit that Trump says.
This is going to tie in a couple of different things. And while dangerous, we talk about the use of AI, right? And how it's a wild frontier that we don't necessarily understand and certainly don't have control of at this point. We've talked about the Lincoln Project.
Yes, they're a sect of the Republican Party who are anti-MAGA, anti-Trump, and very vocal about it.
Never Trumpers from the start, led by one Rick Wilson. We've covered the trials and tribulations of this group as they've had some very questionable members. There is one thing that they do, and they do super well, is that they produce media.
Yes.
So with the use of AI,
they have their production team is on like the WWE's level, making video packages. They do a great job telling stories in very short periods of time. Yes.
Rick Wilson, the Rick Wilson, is a great follow on social media if you're looking for the Never Trumper perspective, which I try to consider all things. So I've been there from the OG. This is the Lincoln Project using AI and getting, well, let's just say, really creative and really personable.
Donnie, I always knew you'd blow it. You were always a fool, a joke, low rent. I bailed you out so many times. Your deals were all garbage. You couldn't even make money off a casino, you fuck up. I'm ashamed you have my name. Everyone knows why the women leave you. You're boring, broke. And I told you not to get fat. You pay porn stars and you're weak down there. Your kids hate you, especially the girl. How did a son of mine turn out so damn dumb? The brand I built is crap because of you. You're trash. You'll be lucky to stay out of jail. I may have lost my mind, but I never lost my business. I've been dead 30 years, and I'm still ashamed of you.
This ad was generated in whole or substantially by artificial intelligence. The Lincoln Project paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising.
That's great. Good for them.
So we're going to go from AI generated to, holy shit, is that a real human being doing that? Oftentimes, when the greatest basketball player of all time is mentioned, Larry Bird is usually far down on the list for a lot of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's 58 seconds of why Larry Bird should not be further down.
Larry Bird might be the most slept on basketball player to have ever laced him up. He was incredible. Yes.
58 seconds of basketball glory.
Oh, what a pass to Parrish. They clear aside for Larry. Great pass.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he was incredible. And these are just his passes. He was Steph Curry before Steph Curry. He was a deadly shooter.
The rebound pass, that's awesome. Look at that. The touch.
Yeah, he's incredible.
What do you do about that? The touch. The ball's coming this way. I see somebody open and he's like, ah.
Yeah, his court vision was him and LeBron maybe have the greatest court vision ever. Yeah, no, he's incredible. One of my favorite, if not my favorite, Larry Bird story is told by Kevin McHale. Kevin McHale set the single game scoring record for the Celtics one night in, I think it was like 1986, 87, somewhere in there. It was like 52 points, something like that. 56. And there was like 4 minutes left in the game, and McHale got subbed out. And Larry Bird was sitting on the bench, and he said, "Man, you better get back in that game and score 60." And he's like, "Nah, I've scored enough. It's good." He's like, "If you don't go back in there and score 60, I'm going to go out there and score 60 in the next game, in the next week. I'll go out there and score 60." And he's like, "Nah, I'm good." And he sat and he scored. 6 days later, Larry Bird scored 60 plus points in a game and set the record for the Boston Celtics single game scoring record. Another great story is that he was a tremendous shit talker, like one of the greatest trash talkers in the history of the NBA. And one night, shit talked a guy and told him that he was going to score 20 points left-handed in an NBA game, shooting left-handed. He's right-handed, and he scored 20 plus points left-handed in an NBA game just because he said he was going to. He was incredible.
Never doubt the trash talk of a Midwesterner. Don't ever doubt it. We talk to Corn all the time. They never talk back, so we've got a lot of time to develop material. Welcome into the world's most famous episode or segment of the show. Excuse me, folks. It's the lightning round. We know you're waiting for it. I'm going to report on. There they are. Billy Wax in house, ladies and gentlemen. He of the Super Wrestlers on March 10th. We talked about that. The Lightning Bolts are in the world's most dangerous chat zone. Thanks for joining, guys. You know the rules of the lightning round, but we're going to go over them one more time because, well, repetition. Hey, I'm going to read 3 headlines, and you, the people, will choose which one we cover. It's an interesting bag tonight, folks. Promises kept, our promises made. Here is headline number 1. Toronto man gets prison for tricking men into anonymous sex through hole in sheet.
What?
Headline number 2. We're bringing a woolly mammoth back to life.
That sounds like a bad idea.
Headline number 3. Speaking of bad ideas. Headline number 3. Man in kilt allegedly put antiques up his butt, then back on store shelves.
I didn't know where that was going, and I was not prepared.
It's not a skirt, it's a kilt.
Oh my god, this is tough, dude. 1 and 3 are both very, very good. Not that the woolly mammoth thing isn't big. That could have made it into the regular discussion.
It actually did,
very
but
easily.
I was short one story for the lightning round. There you are.
No one remembers. It's all about 1 versus 3.
Nobody cares about that. We are
3 is right.
Oh wow, we are. It's a run on 3, ladies and gentlemen.
Is there
video? Dad effing Brooks asking for video. Of course you are. I don't know that there's video. I don't know that we want to put video
Alternative storage is the alternate headline.
Ryan Hansen with the remix. Thank you, sir.
Oh, wow. This is going to be a clean sweep, it looks like. Is anybody going to step out of line? No. No one is going to step out of line here. It doesn't appear. There's got to be someone out there that wants to just for the sake of being that guy has got to vote for something other than no. 3. Oh, actually,
Biz is going number 2.
Is that an official vote for it though? He just says he's curious about number 2.
Yeah, so was that dude in the kilt.
Yeah. 3 again, Dad. Both VIPs. Oh, Biz is going with number 2 just to break the trend.
It's
just because you can't have it like the baseball voters, you cannot have 100% vote on the first ballot. Just can't. If Babe Ruth didn't get it, Ken Griffey Jr. can't get it.
It's rare when there's a unanimous decision. And yes, number 3, the people have spoken. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just remind you, we try to do this as long as we have electricals, water, and power here every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. You know that. You can join us on Twitch. You can join us on YouTube, Facebook as well as we're streaming. But please smash that like button, whatever you're watching us on. Get the algorithm to recognize the Topic Thunder greatness and get more people here into the world's most dangerous chat zone. You have spoken. I will speak. Ladies and gentlemen, headline number 3 is your winner. Man in kilt allegedly put antiques up his butt, then back on store shelves. A Texas man is under arrest for allegedly committing bizarre actions at an antique store. Harris County Constable Mark Herman said that his office received a call on February 8 after a man dressed in a kilt walked into the Antique Gallery of Houston and started putting items up his butt. Surveillance camera footage showed the man grabbing utensils off the shelf and placing them under his kilt. He then returned the items to the shelf. The man spent several hours in the store with a female companion doing the same thing with other items, including an antique bottle opener, a tobacco can, and a makeup brush.
Oh,
they did not purchase anything before they left. Quote, I had to watch a couple of times to be sure I knew what I was looking at. That was gallery manager.
Yeah, that's why you watched.
Susan Golden told KRIV, quote, I've seen quite a few things here, but not that.
No.
The man is also accused of doing the same thing at a different store 2 days later.
Oh my God.
Investigators reviewed the surveillance video and were able to identify the man as a 60-year-old Mitchell Vest, who I've actually checked into anonymous motels as several times. He was taken into custody and has been charged with 1 count of criminal mischief. And
okay,
that's what they call it.
Everybody's asking themselves right now, what does this guy look like, right?
What does Mitchell Vest look like, Ben?
He looks like this guy. And that looks like a guy who stuffs antiques up his butt and puts them back on the shelves. Mitchell Vest will be appearing in Super Wrestlers.
It's either the Kilt Mitchell Vest or Mitchell the Kilt Vest.
Yes, one of those, yes.
I think Mitchell the Kilt Vest. And yes,
Mitchell
it looks like the workout dummy.
Yes.
Guess who he's voting for in 2024.
Yeah, I
Guess
bet.
who that guy's walking into the ballot box and checking off on your ballots. Huh? Let's do that. Right? That's the show, ladies and gentlemen. It's Topic Thunder. We fashion ourselves as the Internet Saloon and as infotenders. My name is Brooks. That handsome man is Ben. And
handsome.
I said what I said. Every Wednesday we do this at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we have a lot of fun. Why? Because of you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. The world's most dangerous chat zone is always a riot and a hootenanny. Tell your friends. Like the show on your social medias. And folks, don't forget, Super Wrestlers, March 10. check out my good friend at GetSheisty.com. Get some swag. And it's going to be old guy old.
Get you some gummies from Delta 8 Denton while you're at it.
Delta 8 Denton, if you're in the Texas area, they'll mail. And speaking of mail, get my